Hello everybody, good morning. My name is Alex with Dual Acre Homestead, and if you're new here, I live in Canada. It is December 1st and there is snow. It is also scheduled or has a chance to snow almost every single day this week, so I need to make sure that the chickens are all taken care of. Anything that shouldn't be covered in snow doesn't get covered in snow, pick it all up. So one of the first things that I make sure I do, or at least check regularly, is I have a tent over this tent garage frame. It does have a little bit of snow on it already. I should cut this netting off. I've got it just on this wood I put up so the chickens didn't jump out. I still get one or two out, so I still have to zip tie it up to the tent garage frame. But I gotta make sure I watch the snow doesn't bog up too much up there. It's okay if there's some snow up there because it does give some insulation. Unfortunately, I was wrong about the tire thing. I don't know if it's a duck problem or what, but it is. The ducks have absolutely covered this tire in snow. Might have to go find a hammer to take care of that, and then maybe find another thing to put up there. I do have this coverage I made, put my feed in there. I do get mice in there, so I gotta find somewhere to put my feed that isn't out, but for now it is in this little pallet shed I made. And then over on that blue plastic pallet, I've stocked up on pine shavings and straw. Let me find something to come deal with this. I'll have to break all the ice off the tire and then that, and then so I can get the bucket out. It would probably work quite well if I didn't have the ducks. Although, this is not solid. It's not solid all the way through. However, because the ducks dribble, it is getting wet under there and it's kind of decomposing and it smells. So, if anyone has a dribble-free winter duck water method without power, I'm all ears and I'm open to it. So, when I get this dumped out, get some water in it, I'm gonna have to get another bucket. Because one bucket's not enough to refill this. The other problem is because of the ducks. It gets all gritty down there from their food. Even though I soak some of their food, it still gets gross under there. Now that water has been changed, or at least it's half filled, I still got one more bucket to do. I gotta feed my other girls. So temporarily I have 3 girls that are staying with me for a couple weeks. A friend who takes really good care of their chickens, who I'm not worried about biosecurity because I have gotten chickens from her roosters. I've never had an issue with them, so biosecurity I'm not too worried about for lodging these 3. I've got 3 girls temporarily for a couple weeks. Currently they are in my brooder so they can acclimate with each other. Kind of like how you introduce cats and dogs to each other. You don't just throw them all in a room. And I've got to water them. So I'll let all these girls out. I gotta be careful of the duckies because they will push this door open the second they get. Good morning! Good morning, Rexy. Good morning, Rexy. Such a pretty boy. Such a pretty boy you are. For these 3 girls, like I said, they're in my brooder. I've got them a nice deep layer of straw, so they're nice and warm. The water that was in here wasn't freezing right away. I do also, underneath the straw, have these foam floor panels. I do have to fix the insulation on that side still, so that side's blocked off. I've got those foam insulation panels. They're kind of used for like playrooms underneath the straw, and then they've got their feed over there. So they've got feed, and then I also have a dustpan, so if any water spills, it will freeze in that and not wrecking the bedding. Hi, Rose. This is Rose. She's one of my originals. Okay, today I've got a few goals. Not big goals, just little ones. I've got to change the batteries on my auto chicken door because they are practically dead. I also have to reprogram it so it's timed, because currently it's just opening with light and it is almost 9 o'clock. And because the window's frosted, it's not letting in as much light. So, auto door, new batteries, reprogram. This door I would like to try to flip the other way on my lunch break today. And then I gotta change the batteries on my blink camera out here, because I don't know what's going on over here, and I'd like to see what predators are coming around at night. The girls are molting, but it looks like somebody attacked the chickens. Polly, Polly. I've picked up Polly. She's yelling a lot. Hey. I don't know why she's yelling so much. I had thought one of my chickens got attacked because there's so many feathers. There's so many feathers underneath the roost that it looks like snow. There's so many feathers. Gotta fix that door. Open it goes. But yeah, I counted all my girls. I checked them over. They're all fine. They're just dropping feathers because they're molting. I got 3 beautiful eggs this morning. Nice and warm, not frozen. You really got to make sure you collect those eggs in the winter. It's fine if they freeze, they'll have a different texture, but once they freeze, they expand and they can crack the egg. Once that egg's crack, humans shouldn't eat those. Those ones I do cook up and give back to the chickens. Now I'm going to change the batteries on this run chicken door. I've got batteries. I'm using Duracell Power Boost. They seem to last about a year's. I seem to change the batteries on this every year. So let's do the easy task first on my lunch break, which is change the batteries on this and reprogram it. Batteries are pretty easy to change on these. Just gotta make sure I don't drop these tiny little screws. As you can see, it's really dusty in here. Just 2 little batteries on this little clip. Oh, okay. So I just put it under, just popped it off really easy. Contacts off a little bit. And then, so I use the run chicken. It's got 1 little button to change things, and it's got like the sensor here. But yeah, it's pretty easy. It's mostly just a motor that turns to open up the door with the little holes in the middle. Those popped in here. And this little plastic thing back on. I don't know what it's doing. It's testing. There we go. Easy peasy. Now I've got to program the door, which I'll need my phone for, but basically you load up the app, you put it right here so that this sees whatever you programmed, and then it programs it through light. The phone flashes a bunch of times for whatever the programming you set, and that tells this how to do it. So I'm going to do that, and then we'll move on to the door. Next up on my list is getting this Coop door changed. I want it to swing outwards. However, I might have an issue with that because the stairs, there's a little bit of a lip, so it might not be able to swing outwards. So if that's the case, I might have to take the stairs off, cut off part of it. I've got my tools. I've got a drill on my drill. I've got my Rigid jigsaw. I am not sponsored by Rigid. However, if they would like to sponsor me, love the tools. I basically throw them around. I'd love a pruner. I've been eyeing the pruners. I really want a power pruner because I lose my little hand manual pruners all the time. And but I can't justify the $200 to buy a power pruner at the moment. I'm going to use a piece of wood as like a stopper, kind of like a trim, and just put it on the door so I know where it stops, and then I'll mark where I'm putting my new hole. Okay, so I've just marked where the door stops and then where the little hinge bit is, which now I'm realizing I think I have the wrong spot. I gotta lower that. Just a hair, actually. Should actually be here. Okay. Actually, oh, I buggered it. I only need to do that part, which is about there. Buggered it a little. Which is this area. I actually only have to cut right there. Okay, it is day 2. My phone battery died yesterday, but I was able to get the door flipped around. I might have to raise it because I might not have had enough of a shim, so I have to raise it up a little bit because it was a little hard to open. Or it could be that the door sweep is just froze to it, so I'll have to take the door sweep off, see if that helps. Of course, it does belong on the inside, not the outside. This door is a lot dirtier than I thought it was, but that's a problem for another day. Other than getting that door sweep off, get these stairs cut and put back on, I want to put in a board on the inside so that I can do my deep litter method. So the goal is to put a board here so that I can just layer in stuff for them. The new girls are out with the flock today. They're doing pretty good chilling. I've got quite a few eggs today. What is that, 6? So that's good. I'm not getting any green or blues lately. I think there might be an egg in there. Oh, there's an egg right there, actually. It did snow, But I don't know if you can see this. The duckies have walked all the way over to their favorite spot under the trees. I've got a little path that goes all over. I'm gonna voice over here real quick while I speed through this part of the video. Initially I was just gonna trim off about a ½ inch because it was only up like a ¼ inch on one side and I want it to be a little lower than the door. However, when I trimmed it off, it never seemed to lower. And I don't know if stair treads are just not my thing, but logically, you cut something off the bottom, it should sit lower on the ground, and it did not. So I'm just gonna cut off the bottom tread and just switch it to one stair, and then I'll make this a spring or summertime problem too, just rebuild 2 steps if I don't like the 1 step. But I need it to 1 step because I'm gonna have the blockage for the deep litter method, and I'll need a step to get up and over that because I am short. Anyways, hope you enjoy me struggle through this because I'm not enjoying it.
To keep you warm, not to snack on. Turn around for 1 second and you'll go right back to eating that. Why? Don't even think about it.
Now the evening, time to check the chickens and the ducks, make sure they're all in here. I did manage to get the bottom door plate on. Okay, we got everybody in. Got everybody in. We got this girl. I'm gonna move her up here. And that is everybody for the night. I do have to make sure I don't keep tripping over this. Just installed it, not used to it. And yeah. Have a good day, everybody. Thank you for joining me.